Welcome, today I'll be running through how to do a Blood Raider rallying point in a single ship. As you can see here, there are two different types of rallying points. There's Blood Raider and Blood Rallying points. The Blood Rallying point is the one that will spawn you. As you can see right here, the warp bin is here. The rats are 20 away, so you need to burn to head to the rats. This is the Blood Rallying point. The other variant is the Blood Raider rallying points, which I will show you very soon. In that one, you won't need to burn at all. The fit I will be using is just the standard smart bombing battleship, 8 high slots, a couple of an armor repper, 2 Hardeners, reactive armor, MJD. Funny thing, this is actually my Haven smart bombing fit. This is on the Machariel as well, by the way. You can see full rack of smart bombs, bunch of cap, some armor, more cap, and even more cap. Now, because this is my Haven smart bomb, I'm using an X-type rep, I'm using faction Hardeners. This is very much over tanked, and you do not need anywhere close to this level of tank. Now, let me show you how to run. Now, I will start with a Blood Raider rallying point, which is the one where the rats spawn 20 away from you. And there's a new in system. Okay, that's always fun. Now, Blood is special in that you kind of want to use faction smart bombs. If you were to compare, say, Blood smart bombs, at least Blood faction, well, faction EMP smart bombs with every other smart bomb. Large graviton, large proton, large plasma. You will see first off, EMP has the lowest activation cost. That means that if you were, say, riding using kinetic, you would be. It's not a lot, but it's enough to make it so that it's slightly harder to do stuff. As on top of that, area effect radius. Kinetic is the smallest, EMP is the largest, EMP is the best, so yeah. And finally, if you were to look at damage, let me just... As you can see, Kinetic does the least damage, while EMP does the most damage, so basically for all intents and purposes, EMP smart bombs are the best smart bomb. Of course, they only do EMP damage, so you can take that however you will. So once again, Blood Rallying point. You see there's this sentry tower here and a lookout here. Just hit one of these, hit approach on a pod, and then when you're ready, just warp to that pod, and that is your warping. For the Blood Raider rallying point, I'll just bookmark this, I guess. As you can see, there's heavy missile batteries, and all the rats are clustered around the warp in, so you just warp into the site at 0, turn on your weapons, and you just wait until everything dies. Now, I think one of these towers might have newts. I'm not certain. I believe from what I remember, it always had those. But in any case, as you can see, the batteries are 34 away. This is actually a perfect time to practice firewalling, which is basically the act of spreading your smart bombs out so that they will essentially destroy missiles en route. You would have to hit them because each of them are max skills. Has a cycle time of 7.5 seconds. You just basically do one every second, and they would kill most missiles that head towards you. Okay, it looks like that bookmark isn't populating, so I'll just warp to this first. And I'll show you how the Blood Raider rallying point works first. Now, Blood Raider, both of these escalate to the 6 out of 10, which should be called, if I remember correctly, Blood Crimson Hand Supply Depot. It doesn't matter. Essentially, what they drop is cruiser size A-type modules, which includes A-type multi-spec energized membranes, which is 700 mil. They also drop 10 MN and 50 MN prop mods, which are also very good if you're the type of person who likes ISK. Now, the bounties themselves are pretty shit. As you can see, the rats here, they don't have that good of a bounty. Like 79,000. They're only battleships spawned in the last wave, and even then they're not that good. So yeah, you don't want, if you're the type of person who wants bounties, just run Haven instead. If you run a rally point, it's because you want the escalation. Like here, 78, 76k, 79k. Again, the bounties, they're fine, but they're just not good. So you just hit your smart bombs and then you just wait until the site dies. In the Guristas version, which when I was using kinetic smart bombs, there were some issues with the rats burning out of range. That's because of, as I said before, that's because of the lower damage and the lower range of the kinetic smart bombs. Since I'm using EMP smart bombs now, you probably won't ever have to move your ship, besides warping to the next site and warping off if there's enemies. General good smart bomb etiquette is make sure you have a pausing system. I do not have a pausing system, so instead I will be warping to a safe and then bouncing to one of the many structures in system. Essentially, because there's so many structures, if I just don't choose a Fortizar, because chances are people will be watching the Fortizar, I just warp to one of the smaller structures, and chances are there's nobody's going to be bubbling and camping that structure. That, and I am literally one jump away from my alliance's staging, so if anything happens, I can just quickly get safe. Well, get saved. Now, as you can see, 2 Battleship Rats spawn. Because in this case I'm using only a single smart bomber, it will take a bit longer to kill them. But they shouldn't be able to burn out before they die. Now, as you can see, some of the rats do newt. If you do get to the point where it's like, oh, I might not be able to tank this, just turn off your Hardeners. Again, this fit was made for Havens, which means it is very over-tanked. Now this one is starting to burn away, so I'll just approach him for a bit. You can see it looks like they're all burning in the same direction, so I'll just head in their general direction. The Machariel is slightly faster than the rats. As you can see, I'm going 195 and they're going 133. So there should be no issue of killing them. The only consideration might be they burn out of your range. If you want to, it would be a good idea to fit webs. And yeah, well, that's the first site done. Now I'll run a second site. One thing to note is that the Commander Rat is a battle cruiser. If I remember correctly, it's a battle cruiser, so you want to just keep an eye out for that. Because the rats stack pretty quickly, you just have to keep an eye out for something called a dark. You just have to keep an eye out for the commanders, for a cruiser or battle cruiser size commander spawn, since they aren't battleships for rally points. And yeah, this is the second version. If you're playing with graphics, I'd recommend turning your graphics up because all of these things will be dying. This also, if you're the type of person who cares about your faction standings, this will ruin your faction standings. Because you're destroying towers, you're destroying structures, and NPCs don't like it when you destroy structures. Again, the E-War doesn't matter. This version doesn't have E-War, but you're 20 away, and E-War and tackle dies really quickly. So yeah, this one also has a nice message that gets sent in local whenever you kill wave. So yeah, genocide away. and watch people just warp in apparently to get revenge, but they're just warping in to die. But that's not the point, that you're literally a superhuman. And you're just toying with these ships, really. So yeah, this time there's only one boss Battleship Rat spawn. Last wave it's either 1 or 2 Battleship Rats will spawn. In this last side it was 1, in this side it was 2. I mean, in last side this was 2, in this side it is 1. If only one spawns, as you can see, the bounty is absolute shit. So once again, if you're running this, you're not running it for the bounty. You're running it to get escalations. But yeah, only one spawn this time, so I'll just approach it. It's probably not going to be out of range, but it's better to be safe. And yeah. Now because this was a blood rally point, I'll do the last blood raider rally point next. Now, personally, I believe that the blood rally point is a slightly easier site. You just have to burn 20 kilometers, which you can easily do in the pod because rats don't shoot pods. But you can still warp to them. Just make sure you're not using. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Just make sure you're not sitting in your training pod. You just make sure you're not accidentally smart bombing your training pod. And yeah. That was the blood rally. That was a blood rally point destroyed. Now I'll do the next blood raider rally point. As you can see, I am not running my 2 faction hardeners. I can honestly probably turn off my reactive armor hardener as well and just run solely for my repper. DPS, rat DPS is basically negligible. The only reason I even have this much tank on my Machariel is because this is a Haven fit, and even in a Haven, you're not tanking the ships. You're tanking your ships because you're basically going with 2 or 3 other smart bombers. You have to tank their damages on top of the rat damage, which is honestly pretty negligible. So basically, when you're smart bombing in a Haven, you're tanking the other smart bombers. You're not tanking the rats, if that makes sense. So yeah, this time I tried to firewall it better. As you can see, every second one of these should finish. I don't. You'll know that your firewall was successful when you see every once in a while see a message that says damage to heavy missile, which I don't see yet. In any case, if the heavy missile hits you, you'll see there 122 heavy missile. What that does is actually that 120 damage actually kills the heavy missile outright. I believe these things shoot Mjolnir heavy missiles, and because they are, it's charge, and I believe because they are technically rats, they shoot only the basic heavy missile. I can see 120 hit points, which basically means these things will destroy because they do 375 damage each. And they don't have any bonuses to their resists. Well, they have slight damage resistance to EM damage, but again, 20% isn't enough to save it from that. You're still killing the missiles. Now this time, again, I got 2 battleship spawns. It is much easier to do with 2 because you can just send one after each battleship, but to prove a point, I'm just going to use the single one. Looks like this one is heading out that way, and this one is going up, so chances are all I have to do is just approach this one, and I should be able to keep both of them in range. This one is slightly further out, though. I'll start moving a bit. As you can see, again, there's newts, but the newts really don't hurt you. battleships do take some time to kill, as you can see. If one of them burns out, then, well, you're not moving that fast. You'll have to chase it down, which is a bit of an annoyance, but it's honestly, all things considered, not the end of the world. As you can see, the bottom ship burned down by range, so just approach it again. Top one should die before, yep. It is slightly annoying because you're only slightly faster than the battleships. But, again, this is why I would recommend you fit like 2 webs on there and then just web both of the battleships the instant they spawn, and you are able to dock them. And that is this site done. Now, I'll do the final one. Warp my pod off. Now, most systems, they will only have a maximum of 4 rally points. So, you have 2 options. So, either they are in I believe, a 20-minute respawn cycle, and I have not spent that much time per site. Like, this was when the disconnect happened, and that's been barely 5 minutes, and I've already finished this site and the next site. What? So, there's 2 things you can do here. You can either, 1, just wait for the sites to respawn, which honestly isn't that bad. Or, you can basically just head over to the next system and just start running the sites there. Just know that you do have a 1-minute aggression timer from using your smart bombs. So basically you'll have to wait a minute before you can move. Okay, a single battleship, so just approach it. And that is the final blood rally point done. Unfortunately, I did not get any escalations today. But then I already did run 4, so it's fine. And there we go, last site done.